Hi guys, and welcome to the Rocket League Replays YouTube channel. Today, we want to present the video replay of the match between Akron Blue and Northwood Blue during the Collegiate Rocket League Fall 2024. Don't forget to subscribe and put a like. Enjoy.
Take the win. The Northwood Revenge Tour is filled with fire and fury and now has to burn through Akron University. Can the Zips withstand the flames? Bass this best of five. They'll give us that answer.
They're going to try their best to overcome the expectations. Again, Akron definitely coming into this one the underdogs. There is no two ways about it. But I don't think they see themselves as underdogs here, Taco. They recognize they're already putting up their best performance so far through all of the CRL Opens. And on top of that, they're playing phenomenally on the day, taking down a WVU that got a top 4 last week. Look, if there was ever a time that Akron is going to outdo everything we expect of them, it's today.
And right now, you're going to see Akron coming off also maybe a less dominant performance, but in a way, pretty impressive still because a reverse sweep up against Maryville, getting some revenge after that grand final certainly has to feel nice, but to be able to say that they have this one in the bag, I think is definitely premature, so I'm looking to see how their playstyle actually comes to fruition as Zanil trying to start off the solo play, but of course, never going to be that easy with two Akron defenders standing in their way. 5-up actually gets a decent read. Cream's bailed out, and Zanil opens something up for Bullseye, wide open shot, maybe a bit too high that time.
Feels like two very different sides of the coin right now as we start off this game. It's like you talked about earlier, Akron, no fear whatsoever, diving at a ton of these plays and staying extremely aggressive and in the face of their opponents versus, I think, a Northwood who are more taking this methodically. You can see they're not just diving at every challenge. They are not trying to break out all too desperately, kind of waiting for their moments. And this is a lot of what we see from Northwood in early starts to games. They really do like to try and play around their opponents, figure out a strategy, and then utilize said strategy to just beat them down and get goal after goal after goal. So far, not too eventful through the first minute. Neither team been able to find a goal, and definitely not for lack of trying, but very few shots on either end as it really is a contentious midfield to start.
Especially now that everyone's keeping it so close. Hockey going for the bump. Patty saw right through that gambit. Said, we'll try to set up 5-up on the side walls, and he'll get the first read, but nobody has the second one. Bullseye keeping it close, bumps out Creams. Maybe something for Patty to deal with, but again, Northwood always just a arm's length away from all these plays, but they're not near Patty. That's a wide open pass. He's trying to put that one on target. He's going to get the double off the bar. Creams is a wall.
How on earth did he read that? The shot was not only solid, but Creams had to basically pre-jump it on 0 boost. Speaking of pre-jump, who on earth just went up center? Hockey kind of taking himself out of the play. 2v3 now going the other way, if not for the demo. Well played out of Northwood. They're not going to let the advantage go in favor of Akron. Maybe probably wish they were a bit more aggressive on that play. A whiff on defense and a pretty awkward transition the other way. More or less an awkward game number 1 here, Taco. Was not expecting this amount of confusion on the pitch.
There's a lot of plays that you have to react to quickly, and if you don't, then you have to play reactive, and that's a terrifying situation because you don't know if you have that read correct. You don't know if you have the angles locked in. On that save from Creams, I would say there's a fair bit of luck in that, but also it's just positional knowledge. Now he's got mechanical skill, air dribble to the back post. 5-up is able to meet it. Hockey slowing it back down, trying to maintain that control we were talking about. Do not just want to throw the ball away willy-nilly.
They're trying not to, and they've given themselves their longest stand on offense so far, but still, despite that, no real shots on target. They do have 3 registered, but I can't think of a single one that really threatened the net. And I'd say the same thing for Akron here, who are only left to 1 shot total. Very, very slow start to this series, but that could change here. Hockey, double touch off the backboard, denied, right into the hands of Patty, who puts it to Zanil. Shot high and Bullseye. Lucky that nobody challenged him. Low boost. This is still going to be more offense for Northwood, but for how long can they hold on before they get a goal?
And if you're looking at those boost totals, only 5-up is anything. He has to challenge. So does a teammate, but the deflection meet us wide. Hockey put back also going to be saying hello to the corner. Bullseye trying to keep it close, and that is the smart decision. Akron has gotten away with a goal line save just like their opponents, and now we're trying to re-level everything, entering the final 90 seconds of game 1.
Bullseye. Touch out the corner. Patty and 5-up go for this. This should be a free transition to Northwood if they can move quickly enough, and absolutely they can. Only problem, Zanil, no boost, fakes it out, but nobody makes contact. 2 players commit. That's why Creams won't make the dive out of midfield until it's boomed out to him, but Northwood probably their best chance at transition all game, and still no goals on the board for either side.
Bullseye, nice read. Creams low boost. 5-up is there quickly, and still gets the angle, the Northwood positioning. It's not flawless, but they're always just close enough to be able to have some form of influence on how this play develops. And that's continually serving them well on defense, because Akron, they're certainly not leaving that goal alone. Only 3 shots recorded, but mostly just because Northwood has cut out these touches, gotten the first one on the ball before it can even be registered. Zanil, high flick, well dealt with by 5 up. Not a lot of boost, doesn't need much.
5 up, still needs to do a little bit here, or maybe Patty can just bail him out. Touches to the corner, but is anybody there from Akron to extend the play? Absolutely not. They'd rather boost up and maybe get prepared for yet another Northwood offense with only about 15 to go. Patty, touch to the corner, not a great one at that, so Creams will take it away. Hockey bumping him off the play actually means 2 committed, so a transition now for Akron. Flip reset denied by Zanil. With 5 to go, can they find one more? No, not at all. This will not hit the ground. Yes, it will. Hockey will let it touch. And Taco, I know you know about this, and I don't know if the audience does. Yesterday, Northwood started off their series versus WVU with a 10-minute overtime. I wonder if we're going to see the same today.
Well, certainly going back and forth, it's really difficult to know really how this is going to work out, but I will say Northwood has been giving up a decent amount of offense, and you got to be watching out because Akron, they like to get creative. All 3 of these players are some of the most mechanical in the entirety of Collegiate Rocket League, but at the same time, they're also highly physical. Akron loves to cut rotation, kind of like this one. Zanil, you are all on an island, and you're getting bummed. 5 up near post, a miss. The demo went through, but the shot did not.
The accuracy is just not here for either one of these teams right now, but somebody's got to put something on target. Definitely the best chance Akron has had. The only good thing for them is they're going to retain the offense. 5 up in the corner, denied, but the demo will give a numbers advantage. Bullseye going to take advantage of that and pass it out to Patty. He hasn't got a ton to work with. A 50-50 is all that he can find, but still more offense for Akron here as we eclipse the first minute of overtime.
Northwood uncomfortable right now. They're chasing left and right. Luckily, 5 up will allow Zanil to get that first flick and then 50. So some possession working out, but right now Akron, they're just trying to cyberbully their opponents, getting all the demos to knock them out of flux, but a high clear from Hockey will give them a much needed breather as Bullseye has to try and control out of his own corner.
That was a triple demo. I cannot believe Akron still didn't even muster a shot out of that play, but they might get punished for it. Creams, air dribble in front of net, denied. The follow-up denied as well. And Hockey, got to be careful here. Multiple players committed, so Akron now on the counter-attack. Bullseye at least gets it center, but no one commits. Zanil, a free transition out, and Northwood finally starting to make Akron shy away from these challenges. We talked about the no-fear approach for the team. That is no longer the case here in overtime.
And right now, the biggest thing from Akron is they're delaying some of their back rotations just because they trust that the 2 in the back will be able to get the save, the 3rd will be able to take out the player. And if you're Northwood, you're going to have to try to hit better than that. How about take notes from Patty? That is a wide open double. Hockey a little bit late to it, but makes up for it with splendid positioning. Be able to, again, put that one to the side. Northwood seemingly living on a prayer on some of these touches.
It feels like both teams are right now. I'm seeing low boost totals on either end when it comes to the defense, and the fact that they are making these saves is great, but it doesn't really feel like either team is taking advantage of these awkward scenarios. The defenses haven't exactly been steadfast on either end. How about a 1v1? You got to take advantage of this, and they still can. Patty denied by Zanil on the line, and now we played an extra half game here in OT.
5 up. With another bump out to create space, but Patty's going to dive in. That's going to be a miss. Bullseye trying to get it out. Hockey read that one. He might even get the boost steal. He will not be able to, so that will probably curtail everything. Creams understands that. He's just getting these high lobs, and he'll try to burn some time, and Northwood, I think, understands they have not had a lot of offensive presence. To create it, they have to slow things down. Akron's moving at a pace that right now Northwood does not seem super comfortable with.
Unfortunately, Northwood really hasn't been comfortable throughout this CRL season. Again, they come into this one the heavy favorites to win it all and are very quickly learning that every team in this competition is worthy of a win. But Northwood, that doesn't mean they're going to back off and just give up the offense, give up the wins either. They're starting to build something up here, but can they keep it going? Zanil touches the corner, 50 versus 5 up, got him clean beat, the pass out center, and no one's there! Not a single player from Northwood willing to commit on another good chance.
And right now, this is where Northwood, they can somewhat smell the blood in the water. They're trying to make sure they sniff out these plays, but the thing is, Akron being really good at disguising their boost totals. They're not using it except when they absolutely have to. And when you're restricted more or less to just 30 off the demo, or at the very least, when you're just trying to grab pads around your own goal, that is the strategy. Then you unveil it when you really can, after 50s like this potentially, or so I thought. That was more like a 0-100, goes straight past the car of Bullseye, back into the Akron corner for Patty to deal with, and he does not deal with it too well. Zanil off the backboard, he cannot reach the follow.
It does feel like Northwood are starting to get more and more time on offense here, and if you're Akron, you're going to get a bit worried about that. This team warming up is something no team in CRL wants to see. So Akron, you got to strike while the iron's hot. You played a great game number 1, but this aggressive playstyle can only get you so far. It won't get you a shot there. But back out at midfield, 5 up, toss up center. Right into the hands of Northwood. Creams trying to keep this close. Can't quite, and does get a double commit from his teammates. Akron still, again, they're definitely playing faster than their opponents, Taco, but still feels just a bit too hesitant on these follow-ups.
The one thing that Northwood excels at is just being able to make those quick fire decisions, rather, on how to take these 50s. A couple times now, Akron has tried to bait them into a 1v1. Oh, dive on in, try to get the large clear, and then instead, they just have Northwood kind of tilt their car, angle it slowly down, and then it just completely kills Akron's momentum. They're doing well, Akron, to steal boost and maintain relevancy in the offense, but the main thing they're doing is they just cannot win a 50 on offense against this Northwood defense, which will not only keep them alive, but gives them more opportunities. 5 minutes now, an extra game already. We're still in game 1, Bass.
I really think we're about to have the repeat performance between WVU and Northwood here. They went 10, we've gone 5. I wouldn't be surprised if we're here for a couple minutes more, but for both of these teams, they can now understand this first game is going to be pretty important, Taco, considering the trials and tribulations they've had to go through just to find the first goal for either side. Need I remind you, it's not just an OT, it's an OT scoreless. Yeah, this first goal is going to make a heck of a difference, and right now it could honestly be either team. Again, Akron still aggressing, still trying to get in the face of their opponents and keep the pressure up, but it does feel if Northwood get enough time to develop even one good play, they're going to find that final dagger. They won't find it here. They'll get pushed back into defense yet again, but they do look relatively prepared this time.
He's going to take the lightest of touches. Unfortunately, Zanil, even with all that boost, has to waste it just to recover, as Patty has more than enough momentum to get the double. I think he might have been better off without that. Bullseye will be still content, not getting that read, but getting the boost steal. That's something Bullseye's been so good at. He steals the other corner a little bit off camera as Patty's just going to lob one up. Unfortunately, Demo will shorthand them. Good job by Northwood. Sometimes the best Demo are the defensive ones, just to give yourselves a little time to recover.
Ooh, Hockey hesitating a little bit. He didn't want to over-aggress, but it has left his team in an awkward position. Great save out of Zanil, but it does feel like Akron are starting to find ways to control this midfield a bit more. Quicker to these challenges, leaving Northwood in awkward positions. And Creams will bail his team out of that. Back into offense, touch out of the corner, pass going to be denied, and I feel like we've said that a couple of times, Taco. They keep going for these touches out of the corner, these passing play center, and none of them seem to connect. This one, not actually going to be a pass, a fake instead, but still not threatening the defense.
That's a tap down to your player that you want on the ball. It's 5 up. He gets it over the first player, and no touch required as it just floats on into the open net. 6.5 minutes, and 5 up is the one that calls game.
Unfortunate for Creams. He goes up early, expecting this to be an air dribble, realizes the touch is too heavy for him to get to, hopes that maybe it's going to be off target, so he will bump 5 up off the ball. But as that one sails on into the net, Akron going to take a very important game number 1.
Dribble, as all of them are 2v2 demons on the playlist, well within the top 100. It's going to get a little messy for Akron, I think, if they try to keep that strategy up. But for right now, if it's not broke, there is no need to try and fix it. Keep it going here in Forbidden Temple.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Let's see if they can get it going again here on our second map of the day. Northwood down 1-0, but really the big thing I want to highlight, Taco, because of that game, they are 12 minutes score. Come on now, Northwood, let me make the point before you score.
Unfortunately, yes, they will say, hey, I don't even want you to finish that sentence. Creams gets a bump, and then even better, it just lands right on his forehead. He's able to tap that one home. And that's going to be a nice one for Northwood, just to be able to restabilize everything and say, okay, now we don't have to wait. We have broken the seal in game 2. We'll just see how crazy this one can get.
Is it wrong of me to be like, hey, Northwood, where was that through the first 12 minutes of play? Like, genuinely, how did it take them that long to find their first goal? Granted, it took about the exact same time for Akron as well. Literally 13 seconds into this game they score, so 13-second difference between the first goals for either team means that this is going to be, again, a contentious series, just like we expected. Might be one, though, where Northwood is starting to control the offense. Look at the ways that they're actually approaching a bit more aggressively here. Challenges out at midfield, demos after they swing through on offense. It feels like they have found a way to change up the offense here in game 2, and my goodness, is it working? Second goal for Northwood.
Look at the angles again. This is going to be Hockey's goal, but the setup is so beautiful from Creams. Gets a flawless first touch, but most importantly, he's just trying to put it near the target. If he wants to shoot that on target, he can get a little higher, but if he does that, it means he hits less of the ball. If it's a 50, he's going to lose it against Akron, so instead he just tries to knock it as far apart as possible. He knows Hockey's in that back post. Longtime TSM teammate, he's never going to miss those.
He is not going to miss those, and honestly, nothing missing right now from Northwood. Through not even a minute of gameplay, they have been in full control here in game number 2. Finally getting pressed into defense, but for how long will they live there? Like 12 seconds maybe, if that, as it immediately is pushed out to midfield. And again, look at the way they're finally making challenges out at midfield. A huge difference to the last game where they were way more hesitant to ever even approach a challenge or a 50-50. Resulting more offense will result in a third goal. No, not quite yet. Awkward on the backboard, but Akron will survive for at least a second longer.
Bullseye, a nice tap. Creams should have the rebound off the corner. Bullseye will be able to read the first one. Hockey wide open on the near post. Still a lot of angle to be asking for, so naturally not everything is going to go in, but you got to be careful giving up those wide open looks. Akron's defense holding firm in game 2, but definitely more flimsy, I think, as Northwood starts to warm up into this series, understands what they need to do. It's honestly one of the biggest strengths Northwood has. You can talk about the mechanics and the coordination, but the one thing that I've always seen from them is that there's been plenty of series in which they lose game number 1, but then after that, they just figure you out like they're solving for an equation. They might have found X. We'll see if it can continue in a barrage of goals.
I mean, it really is one of the most veteran players in the history of CRL. Shout out to Hockey. He's been at Northwood for what feels like forever, and it's a player that honestly I think is going to finish his collegiate career there as well, and for good reason. Multiple national championships and really even world championships underneath his belt. This dude is an unbelievable talent and really has been such a leader for this team in this season. Unfortunately, the results haven't exactly gone the way I think he was expecting, but here today they're starting to find some rebound in our second game of our upper semi-final. Good back and forth between the two teams, and I think it was going to result in some more offense, but good interruption from Akron to finally get some offense of their own.
Bullseye lobbing that one high, trying to keep it close, and it's good that he does. Creams is able to propel himself directly into a beefy 50, and now Sneal's going to find Creams again. That's an open shot. He's not going to miss that one. How about that? Top shelf from a distance.
Cream said, hey, I've had enough of me servicing up goals for you guys. How about you give me one instead? And my goodness, does he do a lot with it. That was not going to be an easy shot. Could have gone for the double. Could have tried for something fancier. But slamming on target sometimes is just the right move. Northwood, they've done that 3 times this game. Not a single answer from Akron after what was a very contentious first game.
And this is what I was talking about. Right now, Akron, it's not just that they're struggling, it's that they're trying to play this game aggressively, and it seems like they're playing half-court Rocket League, where every single time they move up, it's just get reset, and then Northwood, for some reason, has the ball back. Still, 0 shots recorded by the Zips. They're trying to make sure they get something, but even when they had a 2v1, they rushed it too much. They tapped it wide, and Northwood was able to slowly just shepherd them away from their goal. That's really the expertise on defense that Northwood brings. They're never going to be rattled. Even if it looks like you have an advantage, Northwood just finds a way to wriggle out of it.
They really have been so impressive throughout this second game in comparison to what we saw in the first. And again, they didn't play poorly in the first, but I really do feel as if that was a warm-up game. I know that every commentator under the sun has mentioned that about game 1 in Rocket League, that everybody takes it as a warm-up game and just feels out their opponents, but that is how Northwood play. They love to take that first game. They don't care if they win or lose. They really use it as to study their opponents, hit the textbooks, and come into the second game with a major game plan. They do it over and over again. They've done it against opponents in the past, and they are definitely doing it against Akron right now. Held scoreless through 4 minutes in the second game. Taco, it's not even just that. They have 0 shots registered.
Yes, it's so difficult to be able to actually understand just how difficult it can be to get to the midfield. As you notice, Akron was stealing boosts, but the thing is, that's what happens when you are reliably moving around the ball and getting 50s. You only steal boosts because you trust in everyone's positioning. Notice how much real estate there is for Northwood in the midfield. Zaniel doesn't do too much with that one, but he doesn't need to. He's playing for that 50. He's waiting for that follow-up. Akron, meanwhile, seem like they're somewhat chasing this read, and when they don't, they back up. They play for touches like that from Patty, and that still just doesn't work for them. Northwood knows that. They're trying to keep up this pace, but more importantly, just try to take away options from the Zips. Final 30 seconds, more or less just formality.
Yeah, there's not much that you can do, Akron, at this point, besides do exactly what Northwood did in the last game. Study up, figure out where it was not working this game, and again, I do think it's the aggression that they're starting to find. No longer are they fully in control of this midfield. These challenges that were normally baiting out Northwood and forcing them into awkward positions aren't doing that. Another great example as Yeah, it's okay, Hockey. Creams is there to clean it up, as he has with everything. Hat trick for Creams as they put a stamp on game number 2.
Hockey didn't have an assist yet, so he's like, okay, I need to add that to my statistics. Here, Creams, you want a hat trick? You're close enough anyway. Just give it to the teammate. So that's at least something for him to be able to hang his hat on, being able to be the assist man. Playing the point guard, valuable skill. Honestly, it's the thing that Hockey, I think, has done throughout his career, kind of been in the shadow of some other players that he's been able to team with, but he has been all reliable. He has been long-standing on Northwood throughout his collegiate career, and he's just, again, continuing on the warpath. Game 1 does not go their way. Northwood, I think, back in form for Game 2.
I would have asked their team getting to the ball, constantly challenging. Game 2, Northwood matched their pace, and they don't really have much of an answer. Let's see if they can find one here in Game 3. Akron, I hate to say this, but if you put up another performance like you did in the last, this is going to be 3 in a row for Northwood.
So they have had time to talk about things. That full minute being taken by Akron, playing in their facility, their lovely facility. I'm sure with the gold roster, their B team, de facto B team, will be able to cheer them on. And hopefully that'll be able to propel them a little bit, because yeah, that is a rough situation. It's also one of the most important aspects of Rocket League, is being able to take a punch right in the jaw and then be able to just shake your head a little bit and say, it's okay. That's why we have a new fresh 5 minutes. Right now, it doesn't seem like we actually have a fresh one. This seems like a rerun of last game so far. Northwood controlling the pace, Hockey setting up these passes to Neil, drilling them on target, albeit a bit low that first time.
Hockey trying to find something here. Can't do much more than a 50, but the backup from Creams almost able to find a shot. Maybe off the backboard. Oh my goodness, redirect denied, but not the follow-up. And a minute in, it's already looking like the same shades as the last game.
And I love this pass here. Cream's just trying to get in front of it, and granted, 5-Up did what he can. He gets the save, but he's not going to be able to get the clear as well. It's why you need those follow-ups. It's why low boost is such a killer. You have one effort. It's like diving and giving your all into one challenge. But the thing is, when you're playing defense for that long, you need to not only get the first save, you need to get the second and maybe even the third. That's why teammates need to help you out, and that's why, at the very least, you make sure you cut off these plays before they develop. Akron foregoing the physical game, mainly because I think they're trying to stay alive just defensively on their own half.
Ooh, and Northwood might be joining there right now. That is an awkward couple of touches in a row. This could give a chance to Akron, but Creams to deny and pinch it downfield. Luckily enough, Patty's got at least a little bit of boost in the tank to get back, but it's going to force them into a full-on retreat. Akron awkward as heck and not even being able to play right now. 2 of them demoed off the pitch, and my goodness, it's definitely a different game than the last one. It's a lot more physical of a game, but it's still another game where it feels like Northwood's in control. Maybe they can change it here. No follow-up again. Akron not wanting to send the second man if they don't have to.
Bullseye, another 50 across. Daniil will be able to catch and carry as he's waiting for Patty to challenge, and Patty will oblige by being able to get a nice pass middle. 5-Up chasing it down. Cream's much, much closer. But now it's Bullseye's turn to, I suppose, figure out what the scrap heap feels like. I don't think he likes that feeling. It seems like even if Akron does have everything going, there's someone from Northwood just able to swipe through and bite into their car.
Hockey downfield. Oh, forcing a double commit out of his opponents. I'm not really sure if this is going to work out for Akron. They'll at least not concede a goal immediately, but you can really tell the panic is on for our team in blue. No longer are they as comfortable as they were in Game 1. It feels very disjointed on defense, and their transitions to offense are the same thing over and over, which might work out. It's these air dribbles into immediate shots. The follow-up is not quick enough, and Northwood just seem to be able to get around it. It's definitely not the same domination as the last game we saw, but Northwood really in control right now. They are winning these 50s, and I can't even call them 50s. They're 100s. They just keep clean beating Akron to these challenges.
The one thing Akron has to hold on to is that it's only 1-0. No need to panic. All you need is just one good shot in this game is back level. So 5-Up's trying to take that under consideration. However, he's going to get beat. So will Patty with full boost. Hockey, no boost, is able to get the double tap. I think he would love to have some support, but that's something that only 5-Up can provide, at least for Akron. That's a tap down. Patty and Bullseye, it's in between them. Neither can take the shot.
Unfortunately, we've seen this a couple of times with Akron just getting their wires crossed a little bit, and nobody is able to find the shot necessary. This is definitely not the same game that was in the last time. They are getting shots, but still a lead in Northwood. Almost an own goal out of Akron, and a forced one at that. But here comes Northwood controlling the offense again. Creams leaves this to a teammate, and maybe he shouldn't have. Akron, though, again, so awkward on the transition. They have got to find a way to clean break out of their half.
Neil shouldn't have that double tap, but the thing is, Bullseye has to believe he does. He backs away, and now trying to just get that pre-flip 50 into the path of Patty. Clambering that one across as Creams looks like he has this one. Zanil trying to provide support, and it does well. Another bump out. Creams into the middle. Hockey should have an open shot. Tries to slot that one low. We'll get the boost as a little bit of a consolation prize on this one, but either way, Northwood understanding they just got to drain down this clock, which I'm sure is a harder task than it appears.
Yeah, it's pretty difficult to try and just sustain this amount of pressure on either end right now. So for both of the teams, they can't really blink or adjust whatsoever. Again, you have to keep the strategy up. You have to keep the pressure. You have to maybe get another goal or not. Drop down pass, a bit errant, and now it's a breakaway for Akron. Into the corner. Bullseye forces a double commit. And his teammates still just take a little while to get to the ball. It's not a bad idea, but it let time for Northwood to set up shop. And again, Akron's hesitancy coming back to bite them.
Bullseye will be left the ball. 100 boost. Cream's already on the ceiling waiting for that read. And not only that, gets the pre-flip as well, as he never actually jumped off. Gets the beat as well, just the spacing from Northwood. It's almost like they're looking around saying, all right, well, if you're not on that, we're just going to keep on going. And with that case, we don't have a lot to keep on going with in game number 3. Final seconds. Akron try to keep this one alive. Hockey try to keep it down. Patty open shot. It's going to roll well wide. Cream's going to try to guard this one down into the ground, but it's a harder task than he might have thought because he thought it was just going to be a bunch of 50s instead. Nobody challenges. North wide open for the shot, and then Northwood, even though they challenge later, still get the deflection clear. Something to address for the Zips as they're running out of lives.
They got at least one more chance. If they can win this game, they'll force it to 5. To Champions Field we go, but instead here on Utopia, there's still a lot of work left to be done, and oh boy, challenges like that are not going to help them out. The immediate offense to Northwood here, they do anything with it. Low boost totals for almost everyone on Akron. Patty, the only one with anything, will make the clear out, but it'll only go into the hands of Northwood again.
Bullseye, plenty of time to gather this one. It's going to bounce a little bit awkwardly as that will go big in the middle. Hockey going to dive in and miss. Patty going to be left by his lonesome. Zanil, high lob. Shouldn't be any problem there. See 5 up, almost trying to will his team into a more orderly fashion, waiting for some of these touches, just kind of baiting in challenges. And I think Bullseye's trying to learn from that. 5 up will bail him out on this one. Patty, absolutely no boost. Hockey, 0 accuracy. Is that one a rare miss?
It's a rare miss, but it's still more offense sustained here from Northwood and low boost totals. Again, it feels like we keep seeing the scenario where there's one player on Akron who does have boost and they will carry it out of the half, but they have to use their entire tank in order to do so, and then the cycle repeats itself. Northwood doing a great job at not only controlling boost, but controlling this midfield, something we talked about in game 1 that was such a huge point of the offensive start for Akron. They are not getting that anymore, and they need to find a way to get some more control or find another game plan to get into offense, because my goodness, Northwood seem to have no difficulties getting into offense again.
Patty, hefty 50 going all the way back down. Zanil was going to leave that one for Creams. I was a little bit anxious, but I mean, these players are in comms after all. Bullseye's got to hope that he has someone in comms because he needs support off his own post. 5 up on the turnaround. Will get that one somewhat into open space, but Akron got to be careful. A couple times now we've looked up and both players, both Patty, Bullseye, or any combination, just 0 boost. They're kind of just surviving to the best of their ability, but that is not what you want out of defense. You want at least enough to be able to get that first touch and have something left in the tank to be able to hopefully push it forward.
I feel bad for bringing up the narrative again, but I feel like we have to. It's another game where so far through 2 minutes of play, Akron held without a single shot in comparison to what was now the 7th shot registered for Northwood. They are not only controlling this midfield, they are controlling offense, and the only team living in that offensive third. Akron, you played such a phenomenal first game. You need to find the confidence to play that type of game again. Shots like this will finally get them there. First registered shot, and a good play at Akron to get something started.
I think Bullseye also trying to shoot that one low, go underneath the pre-jump. It's not a bad idea. The issue is that it depends on you being high enough in the air, and more importantly, the defender being high enough in the air that you can actually fit that one there. I'd like to actually just see a lob up, course Northwood to have to turn around and get that immediate touch off their backboard, but of course, it's so much easier when we're sitting up here in the booth. When these players are in the thick of it, zooming around at supersonic speeds, it's going to be difficult for them to be able to come to the same conclusions. Akron seemingly becoming more comfortable as we start to see Patty whip out the mechanics. 5 up with a follow-up. Thought he had the dunk, but Zanil still finds his way through. A 1-2 with Hockey still going to be high.
Notice the boost totals, though, on the defense right now. They're a lot more prepared for these touches and getting transitions the other way. Zanil in a 1v1 will beat out his opponents, but he will also then get a double commit from his teammates. It doesn't matter, though. Zanil says, look, you guys want to play sloppy? I'm not gonna.
And I really do like this one. It looks like a double commit, but the hockey gets all of that touch, and it's right into the ceiling. It slows the play down, but more importantly, makes it awkward for the defense. Akron hesitates, Zanil does not. Bang, bang, never gonna miss those.
Zanil just clinical, not only throughout this series, but just throughout the season so far. It's actually his first, registered goal of the series. And this is the first time we've had not a shutout here in this series. It's a kickoff goal, but a needed one for Akron.
And you know what? They all count the same. I don't think anyone's going to complain about that one. You're still getting hype in the comms. It's like, okay, cool. We just reset everything. Zanil peaks, and then we just get the easiest goal of all time. It's why you cheat up kids on those kickoffs and control that back rotation. And even better when you lose it purposely into your main man. 5 up with the reset pass. 1 Creams watching that one like a hawk.
Well, now something has shown itself again here. We could get to yet another overtime, and if it's anything like the last one, we're going to be here for a while, so strap in. Either we get the heroic final goal, one that could either keep Akron alive in the series or one that could end it altogether. Creams wants it here. Drop down play, not going to be followed up, but here come Northwood doing yet again that dangerous amount of offense. If they can control it through the final minute here, surely they will at least find a shot that could potentially end the series.
Patty, kind of in between on this first touch. He will be able to slow it down well. Zanil, really not much he can do with this one, as Bullseye more or less playing goalie right now, and now he's going to be flying out there. Gets that first touch. Cream's trying to facilitate hockey, a touch kind of behind everything. It gets away from the defense, but really takes away the angle. Therefore, Northwood's attack will be done here, as they will go back to the offense. Never mind, Creams almost reignites it. Good recovery by 5 up.
Zanil in the corner does have some boost and a good bump, but is there any follow-up from his teammates? No, Creams instead will let hockey challenge initially, and he will just control this midfield. Could beat against Patty, but Bullseye behind him to boom it off the half. Zanil in the way, looking for an extra touch, cannot find it. Northwood doing exactly as we predicted, setting up shop on offense and just trying to stay there for the remainder of this game. Will they find a shot? Potentially here, but 5 up actually denies Zanil the shot by demoing him, and the pinch downfield will give Akron a chance. 10 to go. Can they do anything with this?
Hockey no boost. 5 up doesn't know it. He respects that touch, and now they're gonna have to respect his to the ceiling. He's bumped out. Patty, he'll take over where he left off. Where's the backboard for Northwood? Patty, double tap at 2 seconds remaining.
Patty P. Patterson shows up again, the mechanical monster, one of the biggest recruits from high school, and now a veteran in CRL, does it once more. 2 seconds to go. Otherwise, Taco, we're seeing Champs Field in Game 5.
I love that from 5 up. Gets that high lob. He knows his job isn't to really to beat out every defender. It's just to beat out that first challenge. And now Akron trying to beat down their second challenger of the day in the upper bracket, trying to get that grand final, making sure they get. Admittedly, I didn't even think we'd get here, but we are here. So who knows what the scriptwriters have planned. 5 more minutes on the clock, and then maybe some change to determine who's going to grand finals.
Let's find out. It's a guaranteed top 2 if you can just win this game. It's already a guaranteed top 3, but again, you want that championship. You want that crown upon your head. It has definitely been a lot longer since Akron was able to sit on the throne, and they'd like to be able to do it here and now with this brand new roster. Again, 5 up. The brand new addition to this school was only added this summer, and he's already shown up big here in Game 5.
Not only that, but he gets a 50 perfect into Bullseye. Akron off the bat. No more offensive frailty.
They did not hesitate. The one thing we asked for, Bullseye, he's not even got a half tank of boost, and he goes, you dare to leave the net open in a Game 5. I will punish you for it. Not even 30 in, and Akron have got the lead.
Not only that, but on the immediate counterattack, 5 up just chases that one down. Zanil takes an albeit risky opportunity to turn and try to 50 that one. That angle is almost never winnable unless you're first to it. So now Northwood has some work to do. I don't think they're going to be too worried about it, but you always got to wonder what might happen if you leave that goal open. Akron getting away with one. Is that one just going to trickle wide? Hockey's follow-up not going to be able to get past Patty.
But now Northwood set up on offense, and we've seen what they can do once they get here. Awkward challenge out of hockey, though. Wasn't expecting that, and now he's left his teammates in a breakaway against their opponents. Bullseye not able to put that shot on target, but I don't exactly advise that, Northwood. Allowing for more counterattacks out of Akron, as we said, that was the best way for them to score, isn't exactly a good idea. That being said, you could just erase it right now. Where's the follow-up? Zanil at midfield didn't want to challenge, but they'll at least get some more offense as a 50 sends it to the corner.
More importantly, they're getting their boost. Patty trying to take this one on with a delayed flip into Creams, playing for the 50. None needed. 5 up. Wide open catch. Zanil trying to poach up on that backboard, trying to produce anything to slow down 5 up. Was going to fake underneath and get a crazy deflection. You can see Akron willingly taking the play slow, knowing that Northwood is going to react to the fast play and might not have an answer to the follow-up.
Zanil, though, he's just doing it all himself. My goodness, what a play. And maybe even a goal. Hockey, not enough of a shot. The drop down from Creams to be a blocker did not make contact. Northwood will still maintain the offense and force a double commit. But Creams is going to backflip. He recognizes he's got plenty of time and a demo from Hockey, meaning they can go into offense again. 5-up trying to do the most out of midfield, but it's far too awkward. Into the corner it goes. Creams muscles through one, can't get through another. But Northwood starting to set up shop here on offense for an extended period. Yeah, we've got the first goal to Akron, but for how long can they keep Northwood out?
Cream's going to dodge that demo and then some. How about a reset? How about a 50 down into Hockey? Or how about just tasting the afterlife for just a little bit? Don't worry, he'll be coming back soon, Northwood. But again, Akron starting to get back in that demo play. Something I highlighted earlier on in the series. They're so good at that because not only does it obviously make things a little bit easier on the rotation, but it forces Northwood to kind of roll their eyes and say, okay, fine, I guess we'll just reset rotation again.
And they keep having to reset rotation again. These long balls downfield that normally wouldn't catch them off guard are starting to become a problem for them. Good thing is, though, they've got, something developing here. Something turned into nothing very quickly. Awkward touch from Hockey, and 5-up going to take advantage. 50 in front of the net. Where's the follow? Denied, but Bullseye there. Sends it to the ceiling, looking for an extra. Will not get it! And neither will 5-up. Creams to clear the line.
I don't like that dive in. It means Patty's going to be left a little bit by his lonesome. 5-up trying to join him on the recovery as Creams couldn't catch up, but either way, Akron getting good 50s. In fact, they're getting the best 50. It's an angle straight on in. 2-0.
Don't call him 5-up no more. Call him 50-up. This man has won every single 50 he has gone for in this Game 5. He has facilitated 2 goals and even gotten one of his own. And with under 2 to play, Northwood, what is your answer?
And this is where things get really precarious. I mentioned this is a map where people ascend to their greatest heights and other times where they crumble a bit. I can't really say that Northwood is having it all thrown away, but this is not going their way. They're going for these harsh angles, really aggressive, really low percentage, you could argue, based on a lot of these players. Sometimes you can make it work, just the sheer confidence and skill. Northwood obviously has that, but when you're playing against another opponents that can meet your skill and then perhaps even exceed it in these capacities, then you're going to run into trouble. Northwood needs to take things a lot more seriously, and right now they need to be able to find some form of magic because right now it seems like Akron has full control and not a lot of time to have to defend.
Hockey, touchdown. Is anybody there for the shot? Not quite, but Northwood still going to get some offense, if not for the miss. Zanio, maybe the most crucial miss of the series as we go into the final minute, and still not a goal despite the awkwardness from Akron on defense. Northwood, you had your chance. Have you missed it? Cream trying to send it himself, but denied again on the line.
Cream's trying to knock that one forward. Zanil, good feint into Hockey. An air dribble that will be met by 5-up as he's just waiting for that extension. It will be met with another 50. Zanil steals boost, but it's almost like it doesn't even matter. You can see all of Northwood. They're circulating around the outside of the field. There's no threat middle. There's no threat high. They're just playing for 50s. Akron knows it, and they're kind of just backing up and letting that happen. Look at the channeling of pressure as 5-up again guides it to the side.
Hockey, no boost. Neither Zanil. Neither one of them can really do much with this, and Zanil's still trying.
No.
Pitch downfield. Hockey's got nothing, and Akron gonna call the game. 17 to go, and I think we have found our first finalist.
That's 3 50s lost. Just taking all the angles. How poetic is that? When throughout the series, I feel like I've been giving Akron notes in red ink on all of their games, just saying you need to step up the 50s. Your angles of approach aren't good enough. Northwood kind of abusing you for that, and then that's the reason that they're gonna win. Northwood not even getting one for the road, it appears. Creams is trying their best, but the only thing they're gonna get out of this one is a statistic, and not even that. 5-up says absolutely not. This is Akron's game to lose, and this time they have it all wrapped.